Good morning. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Please grab your coffee and head to your seats. We're so glad you're here. Is it 60 degrees outside yet? Not quite. Okay. All right, good morning. My name is Kyle. I'm one of your community organizers. We're so happy you're here. Behind me is Courtney and Nicole and John and Tyler. Welcome to 1 Million Cups. Can you please raise your hand if this is your first time at 1 Million Cups? Excellent. Thanks for coming out. So here's the game. We're going to have two entrepreneurs present about their business. After they present, you will have the opportunity to ask questions. So please listen closely and be ready to ask those hard questions. Also, if you haven't already, download the 1 Million Cups app. That will allow you to see who else is here and also provide feedback to our presenters today. I want to introduce to you our expert panelists. Here they are.
I think this is on. Jeff Shackelford, the director for the Digital Sandbox here in Kansas City, proof of concept program to help very early stage entrepreneurs get from concept to hopefully MVP to commercialization to create jobs.
Grant Gooding, I'm Jeff Shackelford's personal assistant. I have a market research company called Proof here in town.
All right, thank you both for joining us. Let's have a very warm welcome for our first presenter, Dominic with Movin' House.
Thank you. Awesome. Did fantastic, thank you. Well, thank you guys for coming out, and thank you for letting me come and present to you and open with Movin' House for you guys to show you what we're about. Well, Movin' House, what we are, we connect two different individuals, moving companies and people who want to make a move. We easily set up your move with just a few clicks. What we always like to say is with Movin' House, you're able to click it, pick it, move. So let's first talk about how do we get here. Well, I can tell you, we had one great sales guy, that being me, and then you can laugh, and then one great software guy, and then we create the perfect combination. But really, that's just part of it. Really what it was is we had two individuals who basically had a bad moving experience with moving companies. And we said, there's got to be a better way. But really, after doing the research, there really wasn't. So we decided, let's see if this is a problem that we want to solve. So let's look at the problem. There's a couple different things we want to look at. First, as I said, there's no current easy way to move when dealing with moving companies. There's currently 3 different ways you can hire a moving company. First, you talk to a friend of yours. Who'd you use as a moving company, and decide if you want to use that one. Second, probably the most difficult way, you can go out, do all the research on your own online, look at all the different moving companies, decide which one you want to move, and then, of course, invite them into your home. They go into your home, do a whole inventory of everything in your home, which is very time-consuming and very much a pain, and they go back and they bring back a quote to you, and then you have to decide, is this the right company to use? And last, of course, you can currently go online, fill out your information, the day you're going to move, where you're going to move to, but really it's just a lead generation site. So what happens to that is you get bombarded with cold calls from now till the day after you move. There's a lot of unanswered questions that you deal with. Questions such as, how much are you going to cost? Is your price going to change? Are you insured? What happens if my items get damaged? Different things along those lines. Now, the moving industry, it really lacks transparency. Right now, the moving industry, they don't communicate very well with their customers, and so we feel that we can help with that. And last, new technology. When interviewing multiple moving companies here in Kansas City and around the region, a lot of them still do it the very old-fashioned way. Whenever you call in and you want to get a quote from them or a bid from them, they still do it through a paper system or even an Excel spreadsheet. It's very, very basic. So here's the way that we figure you can solve it. So click it, pick it, move. First, you click it. You go to our app, you download the app, and you click on the app. Answer a few basic questions about your move. Second, so we call that you pick it. So by picking it, you go around to each room, take a picture of each room in your house. Automatically, everything is downloaded in the room. It's inventoried, sent out to multiple vetted moving companies, and then you automatically get back multiple quotes from these moving companies. From there, you just have to pick which company you want to use. And then last, you just move. As simple as that. So let's talk about why does this work. 4 main reasons why this works. Number 1, we compare ratings and prices. Everybody loves that. Anytime we buy anything, we want to know, are we getting the best deal with the best company for the best price? Second, we have a 10-point vetting process. So we just don't bring on any moving company. They have to go through our 10-point vetting process to make sure they're a good professional moving company so we don't have any issues with the moving companies. Third, ease of use. You know, when I was talking to the IT individuals who are working on this for me, I go, you know, we want to make this as easy to use as possible. I want to make this so easy my mom could even use it. Now, my mom's not an IT guru, so we want to make it as easy as possible where you can just click on a few buttons and get to your move. And last is, of course, the moving pick technology. We feel that this could be a game changer in the industry, and it could transform the industry overall. So don't get scared of this slide. A lot of numbers on here. I'm not going to go through all these numbers. But I want to look at the market validation. So we know the moving industry, it's huge. You have a total of $16.3 billion industry with over 40 million people moving a year in the United States. But let's pull it all the way down to Kansas City, which I've highlighted in yellow at the top. Now, when we did our research, we found 1 in 3 movers in their 20s, or 1 in 3 individuals in their 20s move on a yearly basis. 1 in 5 in their 30s also move on a yearly basis. So the generation that deals with that is, of course, the millennial generation. They're in their 20s and 30s right now. So how did I come up with the moves per year of 2,653 moves I feel that we could get? I took the millennials in their 20s of 241,000, took it by the 33%, divided that by 2 simply because we figure 2 people per each move, and I took a 5% market share. Did the same thing for the millennials in their 30s, but instead we took 1 in 5 instead of 1 in 3. Overall came to about $3.1 million in revenue for just Kansas City alone. Why do we love moving house? 3 things. First, the moving pick technology. As I said before, we feel that this could be a game changer in the industry. Second, we're selling connectivity and transparency between the moving companies and the individuals who are moving. And last, we're transforming an industry which is currently lacking in innovation. So who's ready to move? Right now in Kansas City, about 200,000 residents move on a yearly basis. Now, I know we're not going to get all of those. I'm not acting like we're going to get all of those. But we do feel that we can get our fair share. We also feel that once we get this thing fully up and running, we'll be able to easily expand to other cities such as St. Louis, Omaha, Texas, different areas like that. Last, I always say free pizza and beer. Now let's be honest. We all know if you help a buddy move, the highlight of the move is the end of the move where you get free pizza and beer, right? Well, I cannot guarantee you that I will give you free pizza and beer, but I can guarantee you're going to have a better moving experience with Moving House. Thank you so much. That's it, guys.
So, for full disclosure, this is a digital sandbox company. We helped them get started. So,
Thank you.
and I'm not a plant. And
So no pressure right now.
That doesn't mean I ask easy questions. So you may have mentioned it, but it looked like the average move you said was $1,170.
Correct.
Then what's the percentage that you're keeping for being the intermediary?
Thank you. Very good question. The percentage that we're going to keep initially is 15% of that. So when I go back and we had the revenue, or the total revenue was $3.1 million, it actually comes to about $450,000 to the bottom line here in Kansas City. So,
Then, secondly, great idea. I mean, obviously, you convinced us once, and things look great. But how do you tell the world? I mean, they still got to know, man. And you're one of those. I need to think of you exactly at the right time, right? I'm moving. Where do I go? I need to be. It's got to be top of mind.
I'm glad. Thank you for asking that question. I was hoping someone would ask that because I didn't have time in the presentation to put all that in there. So what we're going to do, we want to build this thing through a grassroots effort. We want to bootstrap the heck out of this thing. And so initially what we're doing right now, we're taking any meetings with moving companies, with apartment complexes, with mortgage brokers, anybody along with that who deals with the moving industry. That's how we're going to get our name out there initially here in Kansas City. After we get this thing up and running, then we're going to start looking for investors after that point because we want to prove the concept to make sure, it works fully and that it's everything that we say it's going to be. Then we're going to go after investors, and then we'll look at putting more money to it to add gas to the fire, we'll say.
I think You have a few really good things going for you here, which you have picked a very simple problem and you have a very simple solution, which in my opinion is like 90% of getting something going off the ground. I have a couple of questions. Are you pre-revenue?
I'm sorry?
Are you pre-revenue?
Yes.
Okay. Um, so is this going to be, are you envisioning this like a lending tree model where you take a picture and you throw it in and then just people are bombarded with vendors?
Similar, yes.
Hey, it's a good cash
I
model.
mean, similar, yes, because I mean, the goal is, yes, if they put their information in, they can get, as many moving quotes as we bring on from moving companies. Initially,
Right.
we're not going to have thousands of moving companies on this. It's just going to be a select few.
So I think
Yes.
something to keep in mind, so something that I heard that kind of perked my ears here is you were talking about how you are going to be specifically doing the vetting, right? Which is
Correct.
which is an unscalable barrier to you doing very well. And also, Lending Tree works or the model works because nobody really cares that much who is holding their loan. They never met them. They don't really care. This is somebody that's dealing with your personal stuff.
Correct.
So it would seem to me that giving the user the ability to rate instead of third-partying that, which
And
you
we
know,
are.
okay.
We're going to
so-
have it on the app that after you move, you can say, what'd you like about them, rate them on a star, 1 to 5 stars.
And then I just don't know if you thought, is it better for somebody to say, hey, look, this is where you're moving. These are the vendors that have indicated that they are willing to move you from X to Y, or they're just going to be, kind of bombarded with communication. If you think that one of those is better, have you talked to customers, potential moving customers, and would you have any feedback on that?
We have talked to customers, and we've talked to enough, but not thousands of customers. But the reason or the thing that they want to see is basically just send it all out, make sure these are good moving companies that are going to take care of my personal items. As I said, we pre-vet them, but then also they can see the ratings from these moving companies from other people who have used them. And so then they can pick which one they want. So we're not going to have bombardment of 100 different moving companies for one move. It'll be something more like 10. And simply because when it gets to the point of, with these moving companies, it's not, a lot of people say, oh, are you the Uber for moving companies? And I go, no, we're not the Uber for moving companies. We're not going to have, like I have a buddy of mine, hey, he's going to go buy a truck and start moving for you. We want to make sure these are professional moving companies because it's your personal items that they're moving.
So, okay, that's fair. When you talked about how you were going to grow grassroots, can you explain why you want to do it that way? You said you just want to bootstrap it.
Bootstrap it, proof of concept,
Do you
and then we're
need-
going after our investors. Is that the right way?
Well, it seems to me that you, in a lot of ways, have an infinitely scalable product.
Correct.
So, Jeff, I'd be interested in your thought. If he had cash, he could scale this quickly. You don't need to
We
do
could,
grassroots.
and you're right. And what we want to do, we want to basically get all the bugs out here in Kansas City. I mean, that's why we're here for Kansas City, to help us get the bugs out, to help grow this company. And then after that, we can then go to an investor and say, look, here in Kansas City, by analytics and everything else, we can guarantee that we will have this many moves in a certain model and bring it all the way down the pipe.
Sure.
So that we can then say, now we're moving to St. Louis, or now we're moving to Chicago, or Texas, or wherever, and we can't guarantee, but almost, guarantee a certain number of moves.
I would only tell you there's really 2 great times to raise a lot of money. 1, before you've done anything, and 2, when you don't need it. Because once you start saying you're going to test it and prove it in Kansas City, then all the questions are going to become, well, how fast are people coming on? How much is your acquisition cost? How come you haven't grown faster? You've only made 20 moves into them, where you could sit down now with what you've got and say, here's how many people move in St. Louis and Kansas City and Oklahoma City and Tulsa, whatever. Our first is a region, and we need $3 million because we got to tell the world that we're going to put billboards in every city. I don't know if billboards are the right way to go, but we're going to do something to splash out that if you're moving, this needs to be top of mind.
Perfect.
I agree with Grant that the bootstrap and the grassroots is going to take a long time. I doubt there's any way that you've been able to protect this from a patent or IP.
Working on
So
that
there's
right now.
always
So
somebody else with a big war chest being able to come along.
Correct.
And you and I can discuss that, how you do it, but you've you've got enough now to at least start forming a relationship with potential investors?
That's great to know. Yeah, because we've been working on this for a while, and not a long time, but probably about a year to get to this point. So, thank you.
All right, we're going to open it up to audience questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. And we'll start with Joe.
Hey, nice idea, but let me take you to my last move experience. It was completely paper like you described, although I was not in this town and I used a Kansas City mover. So they did a long, tedious interview where I walked from room to room and described what was in my rooms. So when the move was finished, I got this nice fat envelope in the mail with the extra charges. Well, when we weighed the truck, we found out that even though we had estimated, 5,000 pounds, it was actually 7,000. So here's your bill, it's due in 30 days. How do you overcome that problem?
What we have contracts initially with our moving companies. And, well, first, thanks. It's a great question because that's a big issue for a lot of individuals. We do have contracts set up with the moving companies, first of all. And second of all, we are not saying that the mover can never adjust their quote, simply because if we forget to take a picture of the downstairs that has 100 storage boxes downstairs or whatever, they need to charge extra for that. And we're going to limit the amount that they can increase or decrease the quote, simply because we want to make it fair for everybody. There is a company here, out in New York that they actually do guaranteed pricing of moves, and I've talked to a lot of moving companies here in Kansas City, and no one's hopping on this account simply because they don't want to guarantee their price. Because what if you get into something and they're a hoarder, or what if you get into something and it's going to be a lot more. So we will let them be flexible with their price, but they're not. That'll be something that it's in the contracts, and they can only go up by a certain percentage, and that's it. Okay.
Middle?
Thank you.
Hi, so congratulations on getting into Digital Sandbox. That's amazing, and that's going to really push your company forward. And also, just a side note, I really like your slide deck.
Oh, thank you.
It's very sleek.
We had help with that, I'll be honest. I'm not that good.
Looks good.
Well, thank you.
And so what have you gotten out of Digital Sandbox? Why did you apply for it? And how is it helping you? Or how is it not helping you?
No, that's a great question. God, thanks. Good Lord. I guess the reason, to be honest, why we applied to Digital Sandbox is to see if this is a legit idea. That was the initial thing, because I think it's a great idea, right? Well, because it's my company. Of course I think it's a great idea. But then I was like, well, let's go to Digital Sandbox. If they think there's something to this too, then we're on to something. And so they've been fantastic in helping us kind of move forward, kind of get to where we need to get. As I said, we've been working on this for about a year simply because my business partner and myself, we both have regular full-time jobs. And so it's very cumbersome dealing with both. And so now it's to the point, as Jeff said, it's kind of to the point where we want to kind of take it to the next level. I think we're there. Negative-wise, I would say negative-wise, the presentation that we gave them was difficult because it's so limited on the time. I know why they do that intentionally, because they don't want to take all day dealing with all these different companies. But I thought that was difficult to get your point across. But then, in the same breath, if you can't figure it out in a couple minutes or can't explain your idea in a couple minutes, it's probably not going to fly anyways. So.
Sorry, we got a question in the back.
Before we have a question, I get to do a plug, right? So he actually came from the Olathe side.
I did.
Of Digital Sandbox. We have an Olathe version of that, meaning Olathe, the city, put up money to help drive more entrepreneurship in the city of Olathe. So he's in Olathe. We have a partnership with K-State campus in Olathe that he can co-work out of that space. And the reason I'm rambling about this is I need each of you that live on the Kansas side to go to your respective city folks and say, why the hell aren't you putting some money up to do Sandbox in Overland Park, Leawood, Mission, Roland Park, Prairie Village, everywhere else? Because I have approached them, And they all seem to say, well, this stuff just happens on its own. It doesn't. Yeah. And so he's one of 8 that we funded out of Olathe, and I would like nothing more to be funding 20 and 30 on the Kansas side, but the funding for the sandbox primarily comes from the state of Missouri. So I can't use that money over there. So if you can do me one favor, email, tweet, next time you're somewhere, tell chamber folks in your respective communities, why the hell aren't we doing a sandbox in my community? Sorry, Kyle.
All right, nice presentation. A quick question, going back to the slide where you had all the detail on it. You mentioned you were going to try to capture 33% of the market?
No, we're going 5%.
5%.
I was saying 33% is in their 20s. 1 in 3 people move on a yearly basis.
Okay, and then another quick question. Are you doing all your software development in-house, or what does this look like?
I'm sorry?
As far as your software development,
yes.
Are you doing that in-house,
Yep,
or what does that look like?
Yeah, we are doing everything in-house. We have a little outside help, but that was one of my big things. When I came up with this idea, I'm not a software guy. And so what I looked for initially, I looked for a business partner who's a damn good software guy. And so he's doing a lot of that for us. That's why it takes a little bit longer, but I tell you what, it's a heck of a lot cheaper. So we are doing a lot of it inside. We do get some help externally, but most of it we're doing ourselves.
Another question in the back.
Okay.
I had a question. You doing any short-term moves for people like me who are disabled?
Short-term moves?
Short-term moves, like move from one block to another block.
Oh, for sure. Thank you for that question. That's really the gist of this. Take your mind outside. Let's get outside of the Midwest, and let's look at Chicago. I guess Chicago's the Midwest. Let's look at New York, LA, Miami, different areas like that. That's where we think we're going to make the most money, because let's look at a lot of people who live in those areas. They don't even own a car. And so they want to be like, well, I like this apartment building here, but, I really want to move to the one right over there because it's closer to the bar I go to, closer to my coffee shop or whatever. And so I think that's where we're going to get a lot of our business at. So, yeah, thank you.
Can you tell us more about the competitive landscape?
Yeah, I don't have a slide with me, but I did have a slide that I presented before where it had all the different competitors on there. And really, when we looked at this idea and we did the research, because the idea is really not that complicated, And so we said, well, someone else out there has to be doing this. Of course, you have quite a few moving companies out there, but we don't consider them our competitors because they're the ones that are going to be, working with us. But in regards to a company very similar to us, there's a company out of New York called Unpacked. They are I guess, our next closest company that would be very similar to us. And that's really the only company that we've seen that's very similar to this idea. And so, the major difference is with Unpacked, they actually go through, you actually have to document all of your items yourself. So it's an inventory list of I have 2 couches, 5 chairs, a table, yada, yada, yada. Where the reason that we're different, when we went through that app, we're like, boy, that would lose a lot of people. At least that would lose me, because I don't want to go around and inventory all my own stuff. And so we just have pictures that you take, and it downloads it automatically for you. So it's a major difference between us and them.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on the picture aspect of it? Did you develop a software to scan the photo to say, okay, this is a bed, this is a dresser, et cetera?
Yeah.
Or is it the moving companies themselves looking at the pictures? Can you just talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, thank you. We did, the money that we used from Digital Sandbox, we actually used for that. And so we have an application right now that you can take a picture and it downloads everything that's in the room. Now, it's still in the process of working. It takes a lot of, for example, when you take a picture of a couch, there's a lot of different couches, and then when you look at all the different angles of a couch, you have to look at all the different angles. So initially what's going to happen is we're going to have the people that are going to be using this with us, they're going to help us, I guess, update this program automatically. Talking to moving companies, they said the major thing they want to see from the pictures is how many 2-man moves you have compared to how many 1-man moves, meaning a couch takes 2 guys to move, where a chair that we have right here we're sitting on takes 1 person to move. So that's what they care about more than anything. And as we develop it, that will move forward. So.
Final question, what can we as a community do for you?
Awesome. Thank you for asking that question. Why we're here, is of course, we've launched beta style. We have this thing out there. It is in beta testing right now. So please check us out. Go to movinghouse.com. Put in your email address and we'll send you a link to the beta test. We want you to test it out. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like so we can help make this better. And then, of course, As I said, our technology is cool. I'm a business guy. I think our numbers are pretty cool also. So any contacts that you guys would have, we want to hear about those contacts. So that would be the best thing overall. I would love to hear from you. Again, my name is Dominic Kloeb. My email address is dkloeb@movinghouse.com. And there's my cell phone number at the bottom. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, it is time for a mug club. Raise your hand if you have been here 10 times or more. And have you had a mug before? Put your hands down. Okay. John's gonna.
I'm making a beeline for you. Oh, you're fine. Good morning. Please tell us your name and why you come to 1 Million Cubs.
Hi, my name is Wendy Gray, and I've been coming here for a while. I freelance in film production for commercials and movies, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do when I grow up, and this helps me. And
Don't grow up. It's a trap.
I'm not ready to grow up yet. But also, I just want to say how inspired I'm by here, but also today for the students, how proud we are of them, that they are being heard today for their 17 minutes, and that this is what civil disobedience is all about, and that's what our country is all about, no matter what you have to say. So,
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. So I don't know how many of you sit at a desk all day long, but I do, and I hate it. It's terrible. Our next presentation is definitely going to be exciting for you if you do sit at a desk all day long. So please welcome Trend Desks.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Shane. Today I'm going to talk about my business, Trend Desks. Trend Desk is a brand offering a line of high-quality ergonomic office furniture, including standing desk and accessories. I'm from Manhattan, Kansas, and our office warehouse are in Manhattan, Kansas. This is a picture of our product lines. You can see the standing desk in the middle and monitor arms, power strip with USB ports, cell phone holder, and a document panel. Before I start this business, my previous job, just like that lady, sitting 8 hours a day in the office plus 2 hours commuting every day. So at least 10 hours sitting, which killed my lower back and my neck. So I tried to make my work environment more ergonomic. Started with a card box to elevate, the monitors. It didn't work very well. It's not convenient. So then I tried many different brands of standing desks on the market. Big brands, small brands, $400 ones, and $200 ones. However, I was not satisfied with any of them because all of them have their drawback. Then I consult with physical therapist and a chiropractor to get this high quality and unique design standing desk. I was asked a lot by people with this question, how did I get the design of this Trend Desk Model E1? And this is what I'm going to talk about today, how did I get the design? And hopefully this will helpful to somebody here, if you are thinking of design a product, or if you are looking for standing desk, this could be good tips for you too. The first thing is a keyboard tree. Keyboard tree, as far as I know, all the standing desks on the market, the keyboard tree position is fixed. It's not movable. You cannot push in or slide out. Every once in a while, they want to get closer to their monitors or write something. But if there's some keyboard tree always in front of you, it's not convenient or comfortable at all. And the second thing is the size of the keyboard tree. Over keyboard tree, you want to be the keyboard tree wide and deep because after you put a full-size keyboard on the tree, you want enough room for your mouse. And basically, nobody on the market has this wide keyboard tree except me. And also, you want the keyboard tree deep enough because if you constantly typing without resting your hand, your wrist could get sore very quickly. And our keyboard tree is deep enough, you can rest your hand on it. Does this work well? Okay. Okay, good. And the next thing is working space. This is probably the most common standing desk people see on the market right now. You can see that the top surface is U-shape. And you can also see that after you put 2 monitors on it, there's no space, no working space for you. You have no space for documents or laptop or iPad or whatever. So when you need to write something or sign something, you need to turn around and find another place to write. And this is our design. It's more like a rectangle. You can tell that after we put 2 24-inch monitor on the top surface, you still have room for books, for laptop, cell phone holder, and all the rest, all other office stuff. And this feature is liked by our customer a lot. They really enjoy this big working space. And then the next thing is frame, the type of the frame. Basically, it's about how does the desk move. We choose X frame because X frame the desk move vertically, up and down, it's just straight. While the Z frame, it moves this way, it's back and forth. From the picture here, you can tell these two are the X frame. You can tell the center of the gravity is always at the center. So it's very stable at all height level. And see the Z shape, when you move the desk, raise the desk, the center of the gravity moves towards you at the same time. So the higher the desk gets, the flimsier the desk is. And also you can tell from here that Z-shaped desks, they require more room behind you to use the desk. But for people who work in the small cubics, they don't have that room. And the height, only very few desks on the market, they fit people over 6 foot tall. And our desk does. The next thing is the weight. A lot of people, when they shop the desk for the first time, they didn't think about the weight of the desk. Me neither. And then I pay the price. Because when I use a $200, like 30 pounds standing desk, when I push the desk down, the whole desk just slides away because it's too light. And my desk is 60 pounds. It won't go anywhere. It's very sturdy and stable. And the last piece of my design is I try to make the desk ergonomic not only for people's lower back, but for their neck and boost their productivity. Like the power strip with USB port, this can be installed on either side. I believe there are only 3 brands on the market right now offering this power strip. And see the cell phone holder for people who use cell phone a lot. You don't want to look down your cell phone all the time like this. It's bad for neck. And this document holder is liked by professors a lot. And those 2 monitor arms. So the best standing desk on the market on Earth. Yes. See the X frame, the big keyboard tree, and the big working space? Yes, this is the best one. And right now we're selling mainly through e-commerce like Amazon and our own website. We pretty much receive 5-star review on all, like the Amazon, Facebook, and Google's. We got very good feedback from our customers. We also got a review from 2 third-party standing desk reviewing website. This one, it says it's really sturdy desk beyond what is coming from other manufacturer at this point. This article was published like earlier this month. And the keyboard tree movement is nice, they like it. This is another third-party reviewer. They like the large keyboard tree and the big working space. And that's it. So, any questions? Thank you.
I love it. It looks awesome.
Thank you.
Love the fact you got it in the market and you're out selling it. The design side, any protection on the X or the different components or?
Yeah, I had a patent before, but I think it's expired now. I didn't extend it.
And then where are you manufacturing?
In China.
Okay, so there's always the possibility of reverse engineer.
Actually, this desk is manufactured by my family-owned factory, so I don't think they will, this design will leak out.
As long as none of the family members reverse engineer.
Right.
So, great presentation.
Yeah, thank you.
I was wondering why you didn't bring it, and then you said it was 60 pounds, and I was like, oh, okay. So it looks like what you've done is taken an emerging product and you've created a series of incremental improvements, right, from a design perspective. So you said you had a patent that is expired. What was the patent specifically on?
The pattern was quite different things that including the wireless communication. It's not in this model yet, but it's on the patent, but I didn't extend it.
Because it would seem to me that that's where a lot of your value is going to be here, because there's already a lot of competitors, right, with standalone desks and also, I'm not sure what you would call it. Is this because it goes on an existing desk, what'd you call it, a freestanding?
It's a converter, standing desk converter.
Okay. Yeah. It's almost like you've created like the Cadillac, right, the premium product here. So how does your at least that's the way it would seem to me. And you have accessories and stuff and it's very heavy. So it would seem that that's kind of the direction you're going. From a price point perspective, how does this relate to other competitors?
Yeah, just like you said, it's a premium standing desk converter. So our price is, retail price is $399, and that doesn't include any accessories.
How does that compare to your next available alternative?
If the similar quality, the price is similar. Yeah, the same quality is.
So, so competitors are similar price?
Right.
Okay.
You've got some low-end models. I would suspect you've got some low-end versions of, that you can get for a lot cheaper, but they're, I think you mentioned lighter, flimsy, so on and so forth. So you're really positioning heavy, long-lasting, high-end product.
We're working on that. Try to make a lighter or lower-end desk, but try to make it stable. We don't want the desk slide away when you push it down, and we're working on that. So, yeah.
That was going to be a question: was other products running around in your head in the pipeline, or is it kind of you're going to stay focused on this with maybe thinking accessories, or where do you go from here?
We are developing new products. For example, we are thinking to integrate some technology into the desk. And right now, it's just the early stage of that. We're thinking to bring in maybe 2 to 3 products every year.
Yeah, I think that's a good move, actually. It's sort of like nobody's killing this space, right? Everybody's just kind of creating a product and throwing it out there, but nobody's really killing it, right? So if you had some standing tech in the desk, that would be, and all of a sudden and then you can build a brand.
Yes.
Around this, because right now I think it's just the market is so fragmented, and there's all these different manufacturers that are jumping in, and because the IP is kind of wide open, it's difficult to own any mind share, which is what's going to keep you from really sort of taking off. How are you approaching sales? Are you going? Are you doing a B2B model, or are you relying on the end user to make a purchase?
So far, we just do e-commerce, so B2C. Yeah, just e-commerce at this moment. But we're thinking to expand our, try to build multiple sales channel to distribute, maybe work with some distributors.
Yeah, it would seem to me that creating some channels in the B2B space is going to be a smart way to go, because you can make one sale and close 1,000 units. It help from your ordering perspective too, since you have to ship from China and it's 60 pounds, so it's expensive.
Yeah.
By the way, it's the first time I've ever heard, yeah, no, we're good. My family owns a factory. You don't have to worry about reverse engineering. I've never heard that before. Yeah. Is there when you are making that B2B sale though, the feature thing is great, but that's a tough conversation to have to get somebody to go with you over somebody that's going to discount it dramatically, right? Which you can't do because you have a premium product. So is there a safety, I'm trying to think like a business would be interested in some type of a liability benefit, right? So, hey, we have this X and it's not the Z and everybody does the Z, we do the X. And so it's going to decrease the probability of tipping, right? And because those are all kinds of, general liability issues that businesses are going to be concerned about.
All right, we're going to open it up to audience questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll come around to you.
I see one of your competitors advertising on CNBC every morning. How much do you know about your existing customers and how they found out about you?
Right now, we just kind of test the water we sell through Amazon and our own website. So far, we got a pretty good feedback. And through the selling, we find that some people, they are looking for like big movable keyboard tree standing desk. Because when we do the advertisement, we can track back what people search, the keyword. And there are quite a few people looking for that. And that's where, that's the feature I think we're gonna, to tell people. And also we're thinking to use Google AdWords, Facebook, Amazon, and probably go to trade show as well. Yeah. Then later go to YouTube. Yeah.
Question in the center.
Thank you. It's a great product. I probably see myself using it, but I have a question dealing with the X, far as raising and lowering it. You said 60 pounds, so I see that you have a woman in the picture. So how would it easy for her to raise it up and raise it down without any, I guess, sticking?
The whole desk is 60 pounds. It's not the top surface 60 pounds. And also we got two very good quality and powerful gas cylinder, one on each side, which will help you to lift the desk. And that's one of the things like physical therapy like it, that you don't need to use your own muscle to pull the desk up. And it's really easy to raise and lower. And I got demo over there. Feel free to try it out. It's over there, and you can try it out. The powerful gas cylinder will help you to lift the desk. Yeah.
We have a question in the back.
All right, Shane, first off, three things. First, congratulations on this. Congratulations on going up there. It takes a lot of courage and a lot of guts to do that. Keep up the good work, number one. Number two, my question is about two questions. One's about the finances, the other one's about the actual thing. I see a lot of people using standing desks all the time, and I've been contemplating getting a standing desk for myself for my real estate business. What is the difference between your thing right here and one where they actually have one where they can actually stand up and use it? Some people may want to sit down. That's the first question. Second, the final question I have is about the about your sales. What are your projections for the next 5 years sales-wise?
The second question, when I did market research, there's one article about the market size of standing desk. I think it says by 2025, the market value of standing desk is like $20 billion. That's what they say about the market size. And right now we just testing the water and our sales on Amazon is just a lot better than I expected. It's even sometime without doing advertisement, we can still sell a couple of desks per day. So, after we do improve our marketing strategy, and I believe our sales could reach to 10 desks per day at least in a very short time. So, and I'm sorry I forgot your first question. Do you mind say it again? The first question?
Okay.
Actually, the second question. Yeah, the second point.
The first question was second question about financials. The first one was about standing up and sitting down. Yes. So the first question I had was about the desk or whatever. What if you actually want to sit down during the day, or how exactly would you use it? Do you have like a lever? Do you have a switch? Do you have to push it down? Do you have to raise it up?
Yeah,
what exactly do you do on that?
Yeah, there are two handles, one on each side. You can just squeeze the handle and then you push down. Then you just sit.
Okay, what if you don't have the what if you don't have the capability to like lift up or push down?
Well, as far as I think, even a smaller person, I don't see any people has problem with raising the desk, because our design is make it very easy, smooth to raise the desk. So yeah, feel free to try the demo, and you can tell that how easy it is. So.
Question in the center.
Hey there, nice presentation. Who was that? Yeah, I know. Who here has a standing desk, out of curiosity? Yeah, all right, so I've got one as well. Ask this question next year, and I bet you 3 times as many hands go up. I think it was Lawrence over there who told me that sitting is the new smoking. Yep. So that was enough for me to like, all right, I got to get one of these stand-up desks. You remember the telling you? So anyway, so yeah, great presentation. I'm just curious to know, like, how did you get into this? Like, you say you're out of Manhattan. I don't know if you went to school there, but maybe tell a little story about how this became an entrepreneurial endeavor for you.
Sure. I grew up in China and came here 2007 to K-State for my MBA program. And after that, I worked for a company as a global buyer, the manufacturing part. And I always want to do something myself. And at the same time, I just hate sitting there all the time. Just like I said, I just killed my lower back and neck. Then I think the standing desk idea is pretty cool. And I got a lot of manufacturing resources, especially with the support from my family. So I talked to them, and then, yeah, that's how it started.
So if I can just elaborate, how long did it take you to get to this point where you could sell the product?
I have the idea of this about 1.5 years ago, and we received our production last almost November. So by far it's 5 months. Yeah.
Question in the back.
Maybe I missed it. Did you mention what the price point is?
$399 for the retail. Yeah.
Thanks.
And does anybody else have a question? Raise your hand. Joe.
So regular desks are designed to be a certain height, and I believe that height is 30 inches. I don't know what that is in centimeters, but anyway, 30 inches. So when you put this thing on a regular desk, even the keyboard tray is 2 or 2.5 inches higher than that, and the rest of the desk is about 6 inches higher than that. So what about the issues with working with those non-standard heights? Because I would be interested, so I need to go sit at your demonstrator back there. But that's a real concern, because it almost seems like I need to put this thing on a shorter table to be able to use it effectively when I'm sitting down, because I know the biggest problem with a standing desk is there are times when you have to sit down for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. I believe there's a lot of standing desk converter, the problem they're facing right now. And our desk, the keyboard tree right now is about 2-inch. After you put it at the lowest position, about a 2-inch higher than the regular desk surface. And for the next production patch, we'll make it lower, as low as possible, to solve this problem. And at the same time, a lot of people, they can adjust their desk, their chair. There are some chairs that you can adjust it to the right level. Yeah.
So kind of what Grant mentioned earlier, have you thought about partnerships, whether that be with office furniture folks? I mean, it seems to me if you got a demo in some place that was selling desk and office equipment, the chance for somebody to see it's high end, see that it does different heights and has all these great features, that would be a fairly inexpensive channel for you to form kind of a partnership to get beyond just somebody finding you online. Because I assume now you're saying they're just doing a search in Amazon for a converter, and you hope they land on yours. I got to believe they're getting a couple hundred back to search through.
Yeah, I think, just like I said, this is just testing water. Right now we got a good feedback, and the next step for us is to figure out what is the best strategy to sell the desk through different channels, not just the e-commerce. And what you mentioned definitely is one of our options. We're thinking about that, and partner with furniture, office furniture supplier, or furniture contractors. So yes,
if you could get protection of some sorts, you could always white label this thing and stick somebody else's name on it. Their steel case, and they don't really want to do this, but if you'll do it and stick our name on it, we'll use it as an accessory. But I would encourage you somehow to get some kind of protection around the design, or you're going to run the risk somebody outside your family will reverse engineer and do this thing.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
We have a question in the back.
Thanks. Nice presentation. I had a question about your pricing. So you said some of your competitors, their pricing is right around $400 or so. Okay. And you also said that you're creating like this premium desk, a Cadillac, if you will. So pricing helps, pricing can affect the perceived value of your product. So I'm just curious how you decided or how you came to the $399 pricing versus maybe a higher price.
The way we use to decide the price is basically from the competition. When we get our desk out, there are already some other brands, and we consider the price from our competitor like Veridesk, Versadesk, and other brands, and we think we are on the same level in terms of quality and of features. So that's how we decided the price.
Our final question for you today is, what can we as a community do to help you?
Yeah, thanks for asking that. And right now we're trying to our goal is to increase our brand recognition nationally. This small batch, I think, went pretty well. And the next step is we want to scale up the business. We want people hear from us to know that we offer this good featured standing desk. So like marketing strategy, branding strategy,
Great, thank you so much for your presentation. I'm sure there's some people in the room that can give you some great feedback.
Thank you.
All right, that's it for this week. Just a reminder, both presenters are going to be hanging out over here after if you have questions for them. Also, if you want to check out the standing desk, there's a demo back there. Could I real quick have my caffeinators raise your hand and stand up, please, so everybody can see you. We've got a few over there not paying attention. That's okay. If you have any questions about 1 Million Cups, they're basically ambassadors for our program. Please ask them questions, pick their brain, learn more about us, and we would love to see everybody next week. Speaking of next week, the presenters next week are Vintage Audio Consulting and Comfy Cup. Have a great Wednesday. Thank you for being here. We'll see you all next week.